phenomenal in a particular genre, and people go out for entertainment and engagement. But I think here it is like everything else we do, a little hatke in the fact that we're very clear, but we've told it in an extremely engaging manner. But I think you normally make a hit when the people who haven't heard of the person on which you're making a biopic get inspired. And I think that's what we hope to do with Sam.
Absolutely. And looking forward now, when it comes to flipping back to the sport of kabaddi, what are expectations for you from an ownership perspective? We're into season 10. We've seen the sport grow. We've seen from Rakesh Kumar at 12 lakhs in season 1 to 2.6 plus crores in season 10 for a player. Lives have changed. I mean, these guys are now all driving around fancy cars and, all bigger, larger figures than life, and airport selfies are the way of the world, and they're absolute superstars of the sport. What would you like to see for the sport of kabaddi going forward?
I think the brand ambassador and branding ecosystem creates a benchmark. I think part of the only two things, cricket and Bollywood are the only ones, and Dollywood by being Indian cinema has created brand ambassadors. And I think kabaddi is absolutely ripe for having brand ambassadors of a very different nature. Because again, today, as I said, most people want to connect with heartland India and not just the top of the pyramid. And I think kabaddi represents that. Our players represent that. Not just U Mumbai players, but everyone in all the 12 teams represents that. So I'd like to see brand ambassadors come out of that. It's always nice to have a multi-country approach. And I think it's great that we play in the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games as a match. But I think, and I'm not saying we need to be in Olympics, but this cross-culture of benchmarking with other talent in other countries, I think makes a big difference for a game to go to the next level. And third, I think we need to travel with the sport. We need to get it to the Middle East. We need to get it into Southeast Asia, just in terms of creating an awareness for a sport, because it's very simple. It's extremely engaging because it's 20 minutes, 5-minute break, and 20 minutes. It's hardcore action. Everyone's looking good and hot. And that's it. I think it's got the maximum amount of impact for it to travel.
And from a exposure perspective, you're someone that knows the media world inside out. It's I guess, in many ways, second nature. And as you said, you've got this outsider perspective. From that lens, we've got some of our partners here with, JNV Infra. We've got Fasten Up here, other partners that will feature, of course, including Melbat Live, that are title partners this season. Why is it such an attractive sport, do you think, for partners that are coming on board from across the world, not just from India at this stage?
See, I mean, for me, brand is a very evolved situation. I mean, I've grown up and built organizations where at the end of the day, it's word of mouth, right? So you need to connect. No brand is a brand without good word of mouth, whichever way you look at that, whether it's on whatever medium. At the end of the day, if that consumer is coming back to you, and if he's going to start paying a premium for you, then you've created a brand. Otherwise, it's advertising, it's awareness, it's not brand. So I think connecting with a sport, and I think sport is a very aspirational thing for this country in many ways. And I think today more than ever, over the last 2 years, you're seeing an absolute shift of people looking at sport. It was a 85% male-dominated viewership. Kabaddi, I think, is one of the few sports where there's at least 35% of female viewership, 65% male viewership. So I think it's got an incredible amount of balance. And brands need to connect. And the best way for them to connect is with something as aspirational as sports.
Yeah, and I certainly think that is the obvious one from Pro Kabaddi and from Kabaddi itself. But, we've talked about how we have Pro Kabaddi season 10 starting on the 2nd December. We can see a hustle and bustle. Mumbai is all about a hustle and bustle. And as we've said, there's this nice amalgamation of two of your properties. U Mumbai featuring on the 2nd of December. We've got Sam Bahadur on the 1st of December. So without further ado, with a lot of pleasure, with absolute honor, it is my pleasure to welcome not just to India's own sport of Kabaddi, but from one of India's iconic heroes of Sam Bahadur. Please welcome Vicky Kaushal. Hey Vicky, nice to meet you, man. Good to see you. Come have a seat, please.
We were warming up the chairs.
we were. That's
all we were so doing. Sorry to be
I could make out that Suhail was asking me 2 more questions than he needed.
It's a good thing I did this for a living for a while. It's okay. But Vicky, welcome. Looking dapper as ever.
Thank you.
We just heard that you had an amazing night last night, featuring the Chief of Army and 800 people from the Army. Just give us your emotions at this stage, because to encapsulate what Sam Bahadur stood for, one of the most iconic heroes in India. What does that mean to you?
Firstly, good afternoon, and a very good afternoon to everybody. But yes, and a really memorable evening last night, and a long one because of the travel, and hence the glasses. So sorry. But see, whenever I get to wear the Indian Army uniform, the most valuable validation that you're looking for is from the armed forces. And then when you have the army chief watching the film, it's like, and I got to sit right next to him, so I was really nervous. But fortunately, he was reacting, and he was giving me small pats in the middle. So it was giving me a lot of confidence, but just it was really, really special because this film is a tribute to a very special person from the armed forces. Our first field marshal, Sam Manekshaw, sir.